GOP House informant indicted on allegations he was an agent for China. Huh. No. No, this whole Hunter Biden stuff couldn't have been projection, couldn't it? No. GOP House informant indicted on allegations he was an agent for China. Gao Luft, what a name, 57, was charged with acting as an unregistered agent for the Chinese government, trafficking weapons, and lying to federal. Trafficking weapons? Look, I just expected this to be one of those situations where this politician told me this in private, not trafficking weapons. He's stepping on my game, man. I'm sorry, sir. I was unfamiliar with your game. I'm sorry. You ever seen that Nicolas Cage movie, Lord of War, man? They finally found him. He's back out there. That was actually based on Victor Bout, by the way, the guy that Biden released for the basketball player. Federal prosecutors in New York City have indicated a co-director of a Maryland-based think tank. No, he's one of ours. No, he can't be. Well, okay. It says Maryland-based think tank. That doesn't necessarily mean he is a Marylander. That doesn't mean he's a Marylander. That doesn't mean we're necessarily involved in this type of activity. It just means that they're based there. The co-director of a Maryland-based think tank on a host of charges stemming from, they allege, was his unregistered advocacy of Chinese causes while he was trying to sell weapons on behalf of a Chinese company to a number of foreign countries. Gao Luft, a dual Israeli and American... Okay, we can pin this on the Israelis, not the Marylanders. Okay, good excuse. A dual Israeli and American citizen and a co-director of the Institute for the Analysis of Global Security was charged with violating Iranian sanctions and making false statements to federal agents, according to the November incident, which was unsealed Monday. Luft, 57, is a fugitive, prosecutors say. He was arrested on charges in Cyprus in February, but fled after having posted bail. So he just disappeared? Yo, is he just gonna be... Yeah, in 3 weeks, he's gonna take up white monkey jobs in China. I don't know if you guys know what a white monkey job is, but a white monkey job is jobs for white people. Sometimes it's acting jobs where you get to play the villain in Korean War movies. I wonder if that's what he's gonna do now. If he's gonna just exclusively play like a geeky State Department official during the Korean War and Chinese war movies. He is a fugitive, prosecutors say. He was arrested on charges in Cyprus in February, but fled after having posted bail. In recent months, Luft has made headlines by alleging in so far unsubstantiated public statements promoted by House Republicans that the Biden family received payments from Chinese... Wait, he's the guy? No shot. No, I refuse. It was projection. When I said projection, I meant that as kind of like a joke. I didn't know he was the actual person in question who's spinning the yarn on the Hunter Biden, Chinese officials, Chinese corruption, yada, yada. You get the idea. He was the one. Every accusation is a confession. My goodness. He has made headlines by alleging in so far unsubstantiated public statements promoted by House Republicans that the Biden family received payments from Chinese nationals tied to Chinese intelligence and that Hunter Biden, the president's son, had a mole inside the FBI. He is very credible, House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer, a Republican from Kentucky, told Newsmax from last week. Comer stood by that characterization and remarks to reporters Tuesday, while adding that he had never spoken to Luft. Luft did not respond to a request for comment. Yeah, no, he's hiding in the sewer system, in Hong Kong. I don't think he's much in the talking mood. Prosecutors allege he is... Oh, wait. If I was Luft, I would double down, okay? If you're facing prison time, you're on the run, you don't want to be arrested, If I was him, I would double down. I would say this is just more example of them cracking down on me for telling the truth about Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden made up all this nonsense to try to discredit my claims. I'm now a political prisoner. I'm going to ask for asylum with Tara Reid in Russia for this horrible political prosecution. If I was him, I'd just go all in, man. At this point, when you're facing time, all in. Prosecutors allege he has been engaged in multiple international criminal schemes spanning several years. He subverted foreign agent registration laws of the United States to seek to promote Chinese policies by acting through a former high-ranking U.S. government official. He acted as a broker in deals for dangerous weapons and Iranian oil, and he told multiple lies about his crimes to law enforcement. The indictment alleges he struck a $350,000 a year deal with the head of a non-government organization affiliated with the Chinese energy company in 2015 to promote Chinese causes. Luft was later tasked with working to recruit and educate a former high-ranking U.S. government official to make public statements that were in China's interest for a fee. The indictment says the official became an advisor to the president-elect Donald Trump in 2016. Luft was tasked with working to educate a former high-ranking U.S. government official to make public statements that were in China's interest. That official became an advisor to the then president-elect Donald Trump. Look, I don't think that Trump is literally in the pocket of the Chinese, right? I've seen some people entertain that idea, and thank you, Marley, for the $5. I appreciate it. I never gave that too much mind. I never took that too seriously. But there were instances that made me ask questions about what Trump's incentives were and why he was doing what he was doing. And one of the things that confused me the most was his position on Taiwan. Because on one hand, he tries to talk a semi-strong game, but on the other, every single time Taiwan or Hong Kong or Xinjiang or any of these hot-button topics or human rights issues when it comes to the Chinese government comes up, it seemed like he was very busy to move off of the topic or pivot. One of the examples I think is most clear to me is that, one second, I'm reading something in the chat. Oh, sorry. I misread something. One of the examples that was most clear to me was probably when, I'm trying to remember, when did this happen? I don't even know when it happened, but it was during the end of the Trump presidency. He had continuously kept removing American government officials that we had sent to Taiwan to engage in diplomacy with our ally. And it got so bad to the point that Trump was yelling at American government officials, people in his cabinet, that he was sick of hearing about Hong Kong. He was sick of hearing about Xinjiang. He was sick of hearing about Taiwan. He doesn't care. Pull all of our people that are like the equivalent of ambassadors back. Pull them all back. That it's not worth it. And this was all motivated from calls from Xi Jinping to him personally. Xi Jinping was calling Donald Trump, telling him to stop having all these high-profile officials talking to the Taiwanese, and he was happy to oblige. And I was confused. And this doesn't necessarily prove that he was like bought by the Chinese or anything, right? We don't have any evidence of that. All we know is that somebody around him that was an advisor to him was being, I would say, groomed to be in favor of pro-China policies, policies that are in favor of the Chinese government. I just do find this very ironic that not only is it the same person who accused Hunter, but also somebody who is getting people to advise the president on China policy also being in the pocket of the Chinese. The indictment, which identifies the former official only as Individual 1, refers to pro-China articles written by James Woosley, Woosley was the director of the CIA from 1993 to 1995 under President Bill Clinton, and he joined the Trump campaign as a senior advisor during the 2016 election and had a stint on the Trump transition team, public reporting shows. A representative for Woosley has no immediate comment. Luft also conspired with others and attempted to broker illicit arms transactions with, among others, certain Chinese officials and entities in foreign countries, including Libya, the UAE, and Kenya. The deals took place between 2014 and 2017 with munitions that included bombs, rockets, and grenade launchers, the indictment says. Luft also worked on a plan for China to buy Iranian oil despite U.S. sanctions against Iran. The indictment says he was instructed as a co-conspirator to identify the oil as coming from Brazil, not Iran. Man, he was like full in there. He's like lying on government documents to try to pretend that the oil is coming from Brazil. It's not coming from Iran. He's trying to deal weapons. He is peddling information that the Chinese want him to. He's grooming people to advise the president to make him more pro-China. Like this guy was deep in the weeds, man. This guy wasn't like a friend of the Chinese government. This guy was like Xi's favorite little soldier in America. Luft is also charged with making false statements to federal agents when they question him about the allegations of arms trafficking and sanctions evasion in an interview in Brussels in March 2019. He apparently gave a different account of the substance of the meeting to the House Oversight Committee. Gao Luft, a very credible witness on Biden family corruption, provided incriminating evidence to 6 officials from the FBI and the DOJ in a meeting in Brussels in March of 2019. We have no reason to believe the FBI and DOJ acted on this info, Cormer tweeted Friday. Americans deserve answers, he wrote.
Flemmy gifted 5 tier 1 subscriptions.
5?
This guy kinda sounds like a spy. IDK, the vibes are off.
You know, I think this guy might be a little suspect. I think someone should look into him. I'm starting to get the idea that he might have some vague ties to the Chinese Communist Party. Very vague. Very vague. In a Newsmax interview the same day that Cormer linked to the tweet, he acknowledged that Luft was the informant he said that had disappeared in May. The people on MSNBC who made fun of me when I said we had an informant that was missing, they should feel like fools right now. This is their worst nightmare. In a statement Tuesday, Cormer noted that the Chinese energy company Luft worked for had financial ties to Hunter Biden. Wait, okay, so this is turned from this guy is accusing Hunter Biden, and like, by the way, Hunter Biden did have credible business ties to Chinese government affiliated officials, Chinese companies who are affiliated with the Chinese government, that is. But you can't pump up this guy, right? You can't pump up this guy to challenge Joe Biden on China and then find out the guy is literally peddling the weapons the Chinese want him to, is grooming people so that he can affect the president of the United States policies in a pro-China direction. Let's just pretend it didn't happen. Get off your high horse and run. That would be my advice to this guy. But no, man, he's got to dig in the sand. No, you don't understand. NBC News has reported that Huston West III, a venture funded by the company and its chairman, paid about $4.8 million to a company controlled by Hunter Biden called Oswego PC. Okay, I think we've gotten through the majority of this. I think that's enough of this. This is pretty crazy, man. You know, personally, I would like it if the people advising the president of the United States were not paid by the Chinese government. I would just like to throw that out there. Okay, that's enough of that.